Hello, Javad is here. In this video, we are going to learn how to model a parametric MEP support family in Revit, and we are going to make it a parametric family so you can change the height, width, and you can even change the LOD visibility, and even you can change the number of beams between 1 or 2 that you want to have in your family. The first step is you need to find some specification. For the sake of this video, I'm going to use this specification that I found from the company that you can see its logo in here, and we are going to model this one, except the diagonal part. It's easy that you can model that too, but for my project I don't need this diagonal part, so I'm just going to model this part with some of the connection that you can see in here. The first part is to know which family environment you have to use. The best family environment for this one, line-based family, is a very good one. It will give you more flexibility. Let's go to the new part and family. I'm going to use a metric family template. You can use any other environment that you want. Let's go to the English part, and in here let's go and find metric generic model line based and click on OK. Now we have the family. This is the top view, and let's go to the front, and we need to have the front 2. And before doing anything, let's change the unit to meter. Now that I have the right unit for myself, we need to go to the front view, and before doing anything we need some explanation about the reference plans that we need. Because we are going to create that family, we have to have a reference plan. This is the roof, and then we have to have 2 other reference plans for the B1 and B2, and we have the vertical elements in here, but we don't need any reference plans for vertical elements because we have them already in here. Let's go to the reference plans and let's create one for roof, one for the first beam, and another one for the second horizontal element that we have. The first part is to create a dimension for the level height and the floor height of your building. Let me create a dimension between this level and here. Let's call it floor elevation, and that's great. I want it to be a instance because I want to be able to use this in different floors easily. Even you can put it on type 2, but for each floor, if the height is different, you need to create new type. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to use instance. Click on OK, and now we have the floor height. The next part is that you need to have the support height. First dimension again, the I, and let's create a dimension from this, which is our roof, and the lowest part of our support, which is here, and that's gonna be support height in here. Let me bring this little bit outside, and now let's name it support height. That's great. I need this one to be in sans too. Let's click on OK. And now if you go and look at the detail, you can see the upper part is a little bit smaller in here, and it's about maybe 40% or 30% of this dimension in here. I want to assign 40% to this part and 60% to this part. So for that, I need another dimension, which is gonna be from here to here. First dimension again, let's assign this part to here too, and I'm going to name this part B1 and this part B2, so it's gonna be B1 height, and click on OK. And I need to assign a formula to here. The first part, let's change the floor elevation to maybe 3.2, and press on apply. Click on OK. Let me reorder the reference lines in here. It is pinned, so you have to first unpin it, and then you can pin it again. If you weren't able to select it, you have to activate the select pin elements in here. And now that's great. Let's go to the family types again, and in here B1 should be instance 2. Let's click on modify it and let's put it on instance. Let's place support height in here, multiply by 0.4 or just 0.4, and it will work for you. Click on OK, and now when you change the support height, you can see the ratio between them will remain same. Okay, that's great. And now this is the first part and the structure of our family. And let's just save it. And don't forget, you can support us on the Patreon, and even you can get all of the exercise files and the project files on our Patreon, the link in the description. Okay, that's great. And now let's go to create our vertical part. The first part is that you need the profile of it. And for the profile, I prefer to create the profile in its family environment. So I have to go to the file menu, and in the new part and the family profile in here, and that's great. Click on open, and now we have the profile in here. It's gonna be for the horizontal part, so I'm going to place them in upper part or in the down part, so it depends on your needs. Okay, that's great. Let's go and see some details. Now you can see in here they have two different types of profiles, the C type and the G type. G type is gonna be for the heavier part or heavy support that they have more loads on them, and the C parts are for the light load support. And for here, I'm going to use this G profile for the center, and you can see the shape of it. You can even create a picture of it. Let me just create a screenshot from this one, and let's just save it. Just drag the picture in here, and let's place it in here. And this is 40 millimeters, so let's just scale it. Select the picture, click on scale, click here to here, and just type 40, and this is the size that we need. I'm going to place it in here, and then I will transfer the lines to here because it will be much easier. Let's go to the create a line, and let's put it on profile, and you can just pick some these lines for yourself. This is the half of the profile, and let's just delete this picture in here, and let me place this from the middle of it to this part in here, and then let's just mirror this part from the middle. And now you have the half of the profile, and then we can create an offset from it or pick line from it. Let's click on offset, and let's put it on offset maybe 2 millimeter, and in here press tab twice, and then you will have all of the parts in here. And now we can just shrink these parts, and you're good to go. If you want to add more detail to it, you can assign fillets to these parts too. For example, let's go to the line, and let's go to the fillet arc, and let's put it on radius, and maybe half of a millimeter, and then you can have some fillets around the corners to make it more realistic. That's great. That's the one that we are going to use for the horizontal parts. Of course, in reality, they will create the different profiles according to the load of each horizontal part. But for now, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to place one for the three of them. So let's call it, for the two of them, let's call it H profile or horizontal profile, and click on save. And now let's just load it into the support family or support RFA that we've created. And now that's great. And then we can go to the top part in here, and we can go to the create part and click on sweep. And for the pass, click on the sketch pass and create a pass from here to here. But after that, you need to align it, align the start point to here, and lock it, and align the end point to here, and lock it. Let's go to the maybe left view, and let's bring the profile to, let's just click on finish, and in here, click on the H profile that we've created. You can see it has placed properly in here. Click on finish, and now let's go to 3D. Let's put it on shader. Now we have this in here, but we have go to the front view, and we want to place this one in here and in here. So in this part, we have to go to the edit work plane, and click on edit work plane. But before that, we have to name these one. Name these work planes. Let's place it on roof B1 and B2. That's great. And now let's place it on, click on edit work plane and let's place it on B1, click on OK and OK. I want to use this one for here too, so I can create a copy from it, but it is better to copy to clipboard and align to same place. It will create another copy on top of each other. So for this one, click on edit work plane again and let's place it on B2, and it will be more constrained in that way. We have some other details about the horizontal part, especially we have some voids on them. You can see in reality they have some oval voids in here, so let's create them and let's see how we can create. In here I want to create a void for one of them. Before anything else, I have to set my work plane. Let's set my work plane. Set work plane. You can select the reference planes too. Let's select the B1, which is a upper one, and let's go to the top part. I want to use a void extrusion. Let's create a void extrusion. Let's put it on wireframe and let's create a, maybe let's use rectangles. This size might be good. I'm not going to, I'm just free-handed, so don't worry about the size right now. Okay, that's great, and let me move it from the middle to middle. We need some arcs in here. This is the right shape of it. And now, after you've placed your family, you can create a, you can click on OK, or you can click on finish, and let's go to the front view. And you can see the void in here, and put the number extension n on 0. And let's put it on in this one on -2 centimeter. And if we set on the wireframe, you can see the void in here. Let's go to the shade again in 3D, and now let's create an array from it to the end of this part, and we are going to make it parametric because we need the number of voids to be edited by the length of the support family. So let's go to the top part and let's select it and let's create an array from it. For the sake of this, for this one, we need to use second array, not the last one. And for the second, let's place here, for example, the distance gonna be something like this. I'm going to freehand it again. And now let's just put it on 4 right now. It's not important right now. And then select the array in here and select this line you can see in here. And then we have the ability to create a parameter for it. Let's create a parameter for this one and let's call it n. And let's put it on instance and let's click on OK. If you remember, when we first came to the family, let me close the profile family. We have a length here and it's a line-based family. And right now we can just see the first distance between these two. Let's create a line from here to here, and the distance is about 7.5 centimeter. And now we can set the length to be divided by 7.5 centimeter. So to do that, you can go in here and we have an n family in here, and then we can say length divided by the number will be 16. Let's see the results. This is good for me, but if you want to have them closer together, you can reduce the number of that. But that's great for me. And now I want to move all of these or copy all of this, or let's just select one of them and let's array it again in here. Let's copy it from here. Let's go to the front view. It is easier to do this in front view. Let's select this void in here. Let's copy it from this reference plane to this reference plane. And now let's ungroup this one and let's cut this solid with this void in here, and now let's select this void in here, and then we can do the array. But before doing anything, make sure to lock this top of this void to this part and press the lock. And now let's go to the reference level, or you can do this even in here. Let's select it, press tab to select it, and we can't do array in here, so we have to go to the 3D. Then we need to go to the top view. Let's press wireframe mode, and let's do the array in here. And from this part to this part on the second mode. And the number gonna be 5, for example. And then in 3D, select one of them, select this line in here, and assign it to n. And you will have the right voids in here. But before adding the vertical parts, let's see if the void's gonna work in different heights. For example, on this side, you can see these voids are working, but this one isn't. So it's not working for these ones too. So we have to do something here. Press Ctrl Z, and for this one, let's select one of them, click on Edit Group, and make sure to lock it to this part, and press OK, and do it for the second one too. Click on Edit Group, and make sure to lock it, click on Finish, and now let's do it for the void in here too. Let's select that, click on Edit Group, we have to lock it to the reference plan, and let's click on Finish, and let's do it again for the second one, and let's lock it to the reference plan, click on Finish. Let's see what will happen again this time. You can see this time everything is working fine. So that's the trick that you have to do to make sure that your voids are working properly. So that's great. And now it's time to add our vertical element. For the vertical elements, you can create them even here, or you can create them in another family. Me personally, I like to add them in here instead of creating some other families and nested to this part. So to do that, we can do it with sweeps in front view too. Let's go to the create part and click on sweep. And in here, click on sketch path and create a path from here to here. But make sure to align these lines together and lock it. Because the vertical elements are a little bit lower to here, we need to have another reference in here, and the reference plane should be in a fixed distance of this one. So let me close this one, and let's close it again, and let's create a reference plane in here. Make sure to create the dimension from this one to this one, because we want them to be fixed. So let's just create a dimension in here. And the next part is that you need to lock this one. And now when you change it, it will be in a fixed distance of this one. Even we can create some parameters for it too, but because the distance is fixed, I'm not going to bother myself with additional parameters. And now that's great. Let's go to create again and click on sweep. Let's save the family in here, and let's click on a sketch path, and in here let's create a path in here, and make sure to align these two together and these two together. And that's great. And for the profile, the only thing that I want to change about the profile is the scale, or you can create another completely different profile, but for me, I want to use that profile with the different size. So I'm going to open the profile that we've created, and in here I want to save as, create a save as from this profile, and that's great. And now we have the profile. It is 40. I want to make it maybe 60, or maybe 60 is gonna be Okay, let's scale it from here to 60. It's gonna be bigger. And the next thing that I want to do, because it's vertical, I want to rotate it 90 degree to prevent from any rotation in the family part. And I want to place it in here. And now when you are using it as a vertical profile, you will see something like this. Let's save it and let's load and close it to the support family. And now everything is great and everything is working fine. Let's click on front and let's go to the reference plane, click on finish. And in here, click on vertical profile. And I don't want this part to be here. I need the mirror of it, but in this side. Let's go to the family again. Let me select this and let me mirror it with pickaxes, but without any copy. And then I need to bring this part to this part. Now this is the right form that I need my profile. And let's load and close it again. Let's save it too. Let's overwrite it. And now this is the one that I need because our horizontal profile is extended to here, and it's gonna be, this vertical should be in here. Click on finish and let's go to 3D. Now we have the profile in here. You can see it in the front too, and it's gonna change its height with these two reference lines because we have logged them in here. We need to add voids for this one too, but before that, let me just copy from it at the same place. Copy to clipboard, align to same place, and click on edit sweep, and just change the path from here to here. And let's align these two together and these two together. And let's go to the, let's finish. And let's go to the profile. Let's select the profile and let's go to the top view. It's gonna be flipped. It needs to be flipped, and this is the right. We have this profile for this side, so click on OK and let's go to 3D. And now you can see the profile in here and in here. And now we need to add the voids for this part and this part. We can do it in left view. Let's go to the left view and make sure to put the work plane on the right plane. Let's put it on pick a work plane. That's the one. And now we need to create our void extrusion. Let's go to the top. Let's create it in here, and then we just move it to the top. Let's go to the wireframe, and this is the side that I want. And let's add our arcs in here, and let's delete this, and let's move it to here, and let's move it middle by middle, and let's move it to the top. Now click on finish. Let's go to the front view. I have created two additional reference planes, this one and this one, because I need to be able to like this void to here and here. But I have added some dimensions and I've made unlocked them to fix the dimension of the void. Okay, now let me select this void in here and let's lock it to here, and let's lock it to here. Now we can do the array in here. Let's put it on second. Maybe 9 centimeter would be a good number. Let's put it on 5, and let's select one of them and select this line and assign it to N2. I will talk about the N2 right now. The N2 is the formula for the vertical ones. The only difference is that you're dividing support height by 10. That it should be 9 right now, and instead of length divided by the number that you want. So that's the only difference for the N2. Click on OK. Let's go to 3D and see the result. And because when your array, the likes will be disrupted like this one in here, we have to go to the front view and we have to lock the second one again to prevent from any mistake in here. So let's bring it to here and lock it. Let's bring it to here and lock it, click on finish, and now it will work fine. We need to do the same thing for here. We can select one of these and copy one in here and make sure to ungroup it first, and let's lock it to here and here. And now we need to do the array, but before that make sure to cut it first. And now let's select it and let's make our array by 9 centimeter and 5, and let's select this line and let's assign the n2 to it. Now let's go to 3D, and now we can see we have the void. We have to do the same thing for this one too, to prevent from any bad constraints in the family. And let's lock it, and let's lock it, let's click on finish. Now it should be fine to test it. Let me change this reference line to see if everything is going to work fine in the project too. Let's go to the 3D, and now you can see everything is working fine. The next part that I want to do is that I want to add my connections and L-shaped connections in here, or support in here. You can add it at the top or at the bottom, but for this one I want to add it at the bottom, and I want to add it to here, but I just model this one and this one, and we can add it for the bottom one too. And now in here you can go to the front view. Let's create a extrusion. I want to use a 5x5 L-shape profile. Let me move it to here. Now I want to align them, unlock them to make sure that they are in this right place every time. Let's put it on maybe 5 millimeter. TR for trim, and let's close the boundaries. Click on finish, and now you can go to the reference level and you can lock it to the sides. Let's just mirror it in the front view and make sure to check the copy, press SM for snap to middle, and now we have the family in here. We need to go to the edit extrusion, and we need to move it from here, and I need to align it. And we need to do the same thing for the top view too. And the last part that I want to model, and then we will talk about the LOD management, is the plate that we use it to connect the support to the roof. This plate and this HSS profile that we have. To model these, we can easily go to the reference plan, and in here I can model it very easily. Let's go to the create and click on extrusion, and we can put the work plane maybe on set work plane, maybe on roof. Click on OK, and let's put it on maybe 1 centimeter offset here to here, and that's great. Click on finish. Let's go to the front view. It's in the wrong part. Need to bring it a little bit lower. Let's place it on here and lock it. And for the height of it, let's create a dimension in here. I want to put it on 1 centimeter, and then I will lock it. Make sure every time it's in the right dimension. And now I need to add the HSS profile in here. So I just copy this at the same place, and then I will bring it down. I need to delete this dimension, but I need to lock this side to this side. But before that, let's just edit the size of it. Let's go to the reference plan. I need to decrease 5 millimeter from it. Let's go to the offset, and let's put it on 5 mm. Let's tab. If it doesn't work, we need to do them one by one. Now click on finish. Let's go to the front again, and now let's log this part to this part, and I need to create another dimension from here to here, and I want this to be about 15 centimeter, and I want to lock it. And to see that if everything is working fine, let's go to 3D or maybe front view, and let's change the height. Let's go. These two are working fine. Let's go to the 3D, and I think everything is working fine. Okay, that's great. And now we need to place them for here too, but there is a tip to do that, because the first point of the line-based families are in the same place. There is no problem for the first part, but for the second part, because it is different in each family, you have to log these two families to the right place to make sure that they will stay to the right place that they are. So we need to go to the front view, and let's copy these two, or we can mirror them. SM for snap to middle. We have them in here too. That's great. And now I need to go to this one, for example. Let's go to the edit extrusion. Let's go to the reference plan. And I need to create some. First of all, it's not right, so I need to create it again. Then I need to create some dimensions and lock it. To make sure that this plate stays to the right position according to the other parts that we have modeled so far. Okay, that's great. We have to do the same thing for the HSS profile 2. Let's go to the front. We did it for HSS. We need to do it for this part. I did a mistake in here. I've assigned 1 centimeter to this one. I'm not going to redo it, but make sure to assign 5 mm to this one. And let's do the same thing for this one. Or I just can delete this and bring it to the top one. Because I have taught it in the other side, I'm not going to spend time on this part again. The last part that we are going to talk about is about the LOD management. For the LOD management, I'm not going to work on this one. I'm going to work on the other support that I have finished earlier, because it has more details in it and we can work with it much better. Now in this family, you can select each part and you can assign the material to it. And another part that I want to talk about is the LOD management. What I mean about the LOD management is, for example, in this family, when you place many voids, it will slow you down. And when you put the detail level on course, for example, you want to see simpler profiles. To do that, you have to do some modification in the family. You can see, for example, for this part, we have two elements: the high level detail profile that we've created, and in here we have just extrusion with the rectangle profile. And in here, for each of them, we have done the same thing that we've done in this video, but at the end, we have gone to the visibility setting. And for example, for the simpler profile and for the simpler extrusion, I have deactivated the fine visibility. So when you put it on fine, it will not show this element in the fine detail level. But for the higher detail profile, we have activated just the fine detail level. So in any other detail level like medium and coarse, it will not show it. For each element in the family, you have this option, so it will be available for you to do that for each part of the family that you see in here. And another thing that I want to tell you as a bonus tip is to, for example, we have one fellow family in here, two fellow support family in here, and we can create a visibility parameter for this one. For example, you can see I have created a visibility parameter, and it's up. You can do the same thing for these ones too. And then when you bring it to the family, when you bring it to the project, for example, let's place a new one, or let's copy, or let's create a new one. And when you place it to the right place, and it's in a right place, and you can change the height and everything. The next thing, when you go to the edit type, you can see that you have an option in here, which is I can create a duplicate, and I can turn off the visibility of upper parts, and then we will have a one floor support. So in that way, you can create a support with different number of horizontal elements. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends and colleagues. And if you want to get access to all of the families and project files, you can go to our Patreon page. You can find the link in the description. And if you want to learn about sprinkler modeling in Revit, you can watch the video that we will put on the screen.